Greetings, members one and all of the Salivation Nation. Adventures with gold and silver. Let's explore. Boy, I tell you, over the last couple of years, it has been quite an adventure with gold and silver, with the prices volatile for both metals. Although we know that gold is the more stable of the two metals, price has fluctuated dramatically, and it certainly has affected all of the sector of the precious metal space, from the futures to the ETFs to the mining sector, and silver as well. One thing is for sure, this adventure that we've been on over the last couple of years can be either quite fulfilling or quite frustrating. In the long run, we know that gold and silver will protect our wealth over the long course of time, and that's what it's about. But diversification is another aspect of the adventure, and I have seen in this community the variety of folks that really enjoy accumulating gold and silver in different forms, not only in the physical, but also in terms of other alternative ways to invest in gold and silver, from ETFs to mining stocks. And in this sponsored video, we're going to be talking about another kind of venture. I'll get to that in a moment. Nonetheless, gold and silver have served as that role for thousands of years as a protector of our wealth. And that is something that will not change no matter what happens. Gold and silver have stood the test of time, and right now they are proving themselves in this economy, especially as all the other markets seem to be tumbling all around us, especially in the crypto sphere. The Fed has acted pretty aggressively, raising rates to the highest level they have since 1994. And that's going to have a ripple effect in time, and it's going to be quite an adventure. Who knows where gold and silver will go from one day to the next? It's surprised us many times before, to the point where we certainly can't predict what it's going to do day to day. We certainly can't predict what it's going to do throughout the course of many years, or even a decade or 5 years or what have you. We know that they will preserve our wealth in due course. One thing about gold and silver is they hold a lot of beauty. Just looking at the metal, the metal here, we're looking at some gold bars, and they shine brightly, and that's an adventure as well too. But we know that certain companies that mine silver and gold and also trade in it, mint it, and produce it, those companies can shine as well. Their stocks have gone up like crazy, and some of the big mining companies have done very well. And some of these big mining companies have a direct impact on some of the smaller ones. And I'm going to talk about that in an example later on. But in this sponsored video, we're talking about Starr Peak Mining. And this is a company that has proven itself over the course of time, especially with its management team and the like. I'm going to be talking about it in this aspect as an adventure from a venture capitalist company. So here's Starr Peak Mining. I'm going to talk about one particular billionaire who owns a 15% stake in a company that made this huge gold discovery. Their share price has already surged by over 983%. And in cases like this, that happens, and then that ship has sailed. Another serially successful entrepreneur named Jonathan Moore, who was on high alert and fast to respond to developments, quickly staked the adjacent area right after he saw the drilling results made by the gold explorer. So his company now owns the project next door, and that's what it's about. It's about proximity to successful mining sites and areas where there has been success in finding the infrastructure and the capacity to have a great potential to bring great result. His company then began drilling on its own and hit in approximately 9 out of 10 holes successfully. Those early drill results prove his company didn't find just one mineral, but what they have found is a variety of several high-grade minerals known as a VMS deposit. VMS deposits are rare since they host a number of valuable elements. It's not a one commodity play like most. And so when we talk about an adventure, well, we know there's gold and silver, but there's also other base metals that can do very well for companies because, as you know, gold and silver, especially silver, is mostly mined as a byproduct of other metals, mostly some of these base metals. So they account for 27% of all copper production, 49% of all zinc production, and 40% of all silver production. So let that sink in. That gives you an idea of what these VMS deposits are like. So therefore, it's believed that Starr Peak Mining, which the U.S. ticker symbol is STRPF, which has made this VMS discovery, is a prime candidate to be bought out if their upcoming results continue to prove the size, grade, and economics of their deposit. Starr Peak currently has 2 drill rigs in operation going 24/7, with a 3rd rig scheduled to arrive at the property to start drilling on multiple gold targets the company hasn't drilled yet. Their next targets are the ones their immediate neighbor, which made the large gold discovery that I talked about before, originally looked at on their property. So Starr Peak Mining might even be the feeder source, a point of origin for this entire district, which means that there's a potential that that's where the mother lode could be if it's the feeder source. The drilling and geologists that work for Starr Peak are also the same that do the work for the company that already made this gold discovery. So the similarities are uncanny. The original company, which has already surged by 1,400%, has drilled 300,000 meters. But Starr Peak has only drilled 90,000 meters to date, and they still had a 90% success rate. So management and insiders, they own roughly 38% and institutional ownership of 40%, and that's important because it shows that they believe in the company and they're not going to profit until they see returns. You know, they're not, these people are not just drawing a salary here. They have a stake in the company. Starr Peak is like essentially can be compared to WhatsApp or Instagram. And so think about those companies and how well they've done. And then Facebook came in and bought them. And that is the kind of thing we're looking at here. Potentially some big miner could come in and buy and make all the shareholders wealthy on an exit payday. Starr Peak is developing this so that a large corporation can then take it to production. That is some of the models for some of these exploration companies. The Starr Peak is perfectly positioned for such an aspect. And why is that? Because of the adventure. It's all about the adventure. And what is that about? It's about venture capitalism. And Starr Peak Mining is a venture company, which is higher risk. That's where the adventure is. But many are undervalued, such as Starr Peak, and which saw a 75% decline in 1 year. But nothing fundamental has happened that would cause that to occur other than positive drilling results. But some of these things can go under the radar, which means this provides a great opportunity that gives you, the investor, an option to buy a portion of the company in shares. And really, you can limit your risk in doing such a thing because you can put a stop loss on the downside while essentially having a wide open upside. So great area for potential increase in your profits there and making money, but a way to be able to sort of put a stopgap on any losses that you aren't comfortable with. So the downside risk is relatively minimal with all things considered. Obviously, there is some risk. This is what it's about, but it's about getting in at the right time in an undervalued company like Starr Peak Mining. But again, something like this, do your own due diligence and research, and I encourage you to check out their website and look at their presentation that shows all of the geology that's involved in the research and the like that's been done and reach out to them. You can contact them and ask questions of the company and decide if it's right for you. So I hope you found this video insightful. I would like to extend a multitude of gratitude to you all for taking the time to watch and consider Starr Peak Mining Limited, and encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.